जय शिशि गुरु गौरंग गंधर्विक गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज शिल गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालभविष्ट महाभागवत शिल गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्ट शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यालभविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुग गौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद शिशिमार भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद शिशिमार भक्ति बल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद शिशिमार भक्ति दायित माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यालभविष्टम विष्णुपाद अच्युत शत शिशिमार भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। All the associates of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the disciples and followers of those associates ki jai. Jai Srila Baladev Vijibhushan Prabhu ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. नामचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौड़ मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपीश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। Jai Shri our very dear Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki Jai. Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So we'll do just a short Mangala Charan and then we will begin our program. अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptastakama Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Haribol, everyone. Dandavat pranams. So welcome to our day 10 of our programs, remembering and glorifying our very dear Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. Yeah, just as we've been gathering day after day, it's just been so absolutely amazing to witness just like how much impact Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja had on so many devotees' lives all over the world. People I've never met before, people I never knew, and like so many groups of devotees in every country. And so by this, it's clear that he's still very much present with us in this deep inspiration that he's given devotees everywhere. And so we're still receiving his association in that way, you know, in this yeah, and also this is only possible because his own practice was so intense and so rock solid, his sadhan. And so then and then he wanted everybody else to have that same excitement that he had in his own sadhan. He wanted everybody else to have that same kind of excitement, and he wanted to see everyone succeed. And so now we're continuing to get inspiration directly from Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja through all these devotees that he's affected so deeply. And today we have another very wonderful lineup of devotees who will share their memories and their heartfelt homage. First, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he will, from the UK, he will share his memories. And then after that, Raj Kishori Didi is with us here, and also Hari Priya Didi and Vanamali Prabhu. I look forward to hearing from all of you today. Yeah, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, whenever you're ready, please go ahead and you can take the mic.
Thank you, Madhukar Prabhu, for the opportunity. And I'm very grateful to be here amongst these incredible devotees. First, I offer my Dandavat Pranam at the lotus feet of my dear spiritual master, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Śrīmāda Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same way, I offer my Dandavat Pranam again and again at the lotus feet of all our great acharyas, especially Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad, Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. And I offer my Dandavat Pranam to all of you, the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and beg you for your causeless mercy. Dandavat Pranam Bhadra Didi, Braja Kishori Didi, Hari Priya Didi, Vanamali Puru, and everyone else who's watching. And of course, Madhukar Prabhu. As Madhukar Prabhu was saying, Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja has touched the lives of so many. And one thing that really struck me was a lecture that I was listening to that he spoke just a few hours before he left. And filled with such sincerity and conviction. And in that lecture, if any of you have seen it, he was saying, and tomorrow we will be discussing this. We're not going to discuss it today because there's not so much time. But this topic now that we're getting into, we will save that for tomorrow. Life is short. And we don't know how much time we have left. I don't know how much time I have left. And for me, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja's, Pujyapada Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja's departure is the very best possible way that someone can leave this world. If I have, my dream would be to leave this world in the way that he has. The culmination of sadhana and devotion to our Guru Varga over decades, and leaving in Sri Radhakund, having spoken on our Shastras and Acharyas just a few hours before, and those who were there or who were connected with physically present, they all have said that Pujyapada Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja was magnificent. His body was effulgent, incredibly effulgent. I've heard that from a number of different devotees. And he left at a similar time, I believe, to our Shira Gurudev also. Now, it takes a Vaishnava to glorify a Vaishnava. So unfortunately, that's not something I can do. But there are some lessons in his life that I'm hoping to hold in my heart, because I would like to, by the grace of our Shira Gurudev and his grace, I would like to follow in his example. And these teachings in his life, which are, sometimes he spoke about them, but more he lived them. And that's what made them powerful. And they may seem simple things, but one of the lessons for me is that progress in bhakti doesn't depend on very complicated things. Someone doesn't need to become a learned scholar. Someone doesn't need to look for the most esoteric teachings or do unusual practices. It's a few simple teachings, a few simple practices that our Guru Varga have emphasized. And if we follow those consistently over the years, it's like water on a stone, and it has a huge impact. So I will share a few of those that have really had I've noticed and have touched my heart, and I pray to be able to follow in his example. So one of those is that Maharaj was someone unusual in that he was genuinely happy to see the well-being and prosperity of others. That's a very unusual quality, because it's often in the world, it's something that we learn to feign. But really, how many of us are truly interested in others? And I saw that Maharaj was genuinely interested in others, and he became very happy to see that they were doing well. He was happy to see the prosperity of others. It reminds me of a verse in the Gita where Sri Krishna says in the 6th chapter, Atmapom yena sarvatra samang pashyati Arjuna dukam va yadiva dukam sa yogi paramo mataha. So Krishna explains what is the Parama Yogi, the highest yogi. And Sri Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu explains that it's someone who considers the happiness of others to be the same as their own happiness, and the suffering or misfortune of others to have the same value as their own suffering or misfortune. So usually in the world, all too often we see the opposite of that, where if someone who we consider to be a competitor is not doing well, we're secretly pleased. And if someone, even if we may think or call them a friend, if they're doing better than we are, there's something in our heart that feels a little disturbed. So the highest yogi is someone who turns that on its head. And that's the quality of a Vaishnava. And it's a quality that Maharaj had. He did not like to see the suffering of others, and he was directly pleased, thrilled to see the prosperity of others. I could even share a particular anecdote, but relating to that, a message that he had sent someone just a few days before he left, but I won't because I don't have permission, but it's something that Maharaj said, and the message came to me, and I could not help. That's why I'm starting off with this. This is someone who genuinely is thrilled, delighted to see others doing well. The second quality is I have never heard Maharaj speak ill of others. And that's a very rare quality. And it's not that he was blind to shortcomings that others may have. He did not relish dwelling there. So I've heard him say so many good things about others. I have not heard him speak ill of others. Now, we know this verse, anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam, the six aspects of Sharanagati. So in that verse, we privilege the teachings, the explanation of Srila Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha. But we can also honor the explanations that are given in some of the Sri Vaishnava texts. The verse comes from their texts originally. And one meaning that's given in the Lakshmi Tantra is anukulyasya sankalpa. I take the sankalpa, the vow, that everything that I do will be favorable for others. And I take the vow that I will not do anything to harm others. And that is actually the same as Srila Jiva Goswami's explanation, because following that will ensure also that we're not harming our own bhakti, and that if we're acting kindly to everyone, it'll be beneficial for our own devotional practice. Another point that I noticed is Maharaj was not interested in, first I should say, he was very strict and impatient with his own mind, not with others. With others, he was lenient, but I've seen how he would not give his own mind any wiggle room. So I've known Maharaj in this lifetime for about 35 years and lived with him in Durvasa Ashram for a period of time. And I saw that about him. He would not, he kept strong control over his own thoughts. And he was not interested in politics. He was not interested in position either. And if an environment he thought it wasn't helpful, he would just move on. So you see that in his later years, he was off on his own often. Not on his own, but living under the shelter of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sri Surabhi Kunj, and in places where he could immerse himself in his sadhana bhakti, sadhana bhajan, without being disturbed and without being entangled in things that he knew are not helpful for bhakti. He didn't seek out big crowds or a large following, but he quietly made a difference by his affection and care for other devotees. He was understated and not interested in posturing. So he would, when I would go and see him, he would just relate to me and to everyone as a dear friend, and not try to, even though as a sannyasi and in his practice, he's senior to so many of us, certainly far beyond my own level, far beyond. But he treated me just like a friend, just like a close friend. He was not interested in exerting dominance or trying to exert superiority over anyone. He's also a very practical devotee, very practical person. And that is something that I think can really helped me in my own, and has in the past by his advice helped me. When I first came to Mathura and began living in the Mathura Math, I started work on Srila Gurudev's publications. And at that time, it's hard to imagine this, but at that time, there was no computer room. There was practically, those facilities all didn't exist. And the devotees would read Shastra like sitting on a mat with a small table over your, like a low kind of table just over your thighs. And so I was editing like that, and I just couldn't do it. It was very difficult. And I didn't think, I was very young. I didn't know that you could do things differently. And he saw me and he said, no, don't do that. Don't try and mimic how others, Indian devotees, for example, who are used to doing things in a certain way, you're not like that. You're used to doing things in a different way. Go to the market, buy yourself a nice plastic table, a comfortable chair, get yourself a lamp, and then install that for yourself. So I went and did that, and to the surprise of everyone around me, I kind of built like a whole kind of a pod for doing my publication seva. And then the first large book that I was working on, and that was with Shanti Didi, was Sri Brajmandal Parikrama, the first edition of that. And it was absolute joy working on that. And we were just immersed in that. And we couldn't even, Srila Gurudev considered that book so important that he wouldn't let us go to Jaipur with him and the other devotees. We stayed back and we were trying to get the book out for the Brajmandal Parikrama. But it was Pujyapada Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja who encouraged me and advised me and took an interest, and I owe him so much for that. He would say that you will establish your relationship with Srila Gurudev through service. And he would stress that don't try to go to Srila Gurudev and with a spirit of enjoyment. You go to Srila Gurudev and try to be close to him and try to get some emotional validation from him, or all the reasons that a conditioned soul like me might approach a pure Vaishnava. He said, the way to genuinely approach Sri Guru is through service. And he encouraged me with publications because he said that of all the different services, all are valuable, but the one that is perhaps dearest to Srila Gurudev's heart is his books. So publishing, but also distributing them, reading them. And for that reason, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, Pujyapada Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja also worked hard on Srila Gurudev's books. We would not have Jaiva Dharma in English without him, for example. And Maharaj was not particularly trained in publishing, for example. It's something that he learned on the go. And he would say that if you just give your heart to serving Sri Krishna, Krishna and Sri Srila Gurudev and Krishna will give you the intelligence and the resources you need. So he would say it's not that you first become perfect in something and then you try. He would say, no, it's by trying or in trying that you become perfect. So he gave devotees the confidence and the inspiration to move forward with their service, even if they still had more to learn. One thing I noticed about him also, and this is something I want to pay close attention to in my own life, is that he was aware also of subtle forms of enjoyment. So, and he would look out for those as like pitfalls on the path of bhakti, as dangers. And he said to me once, if you renounce the world, but you keep thinking about the objects of enjoyment, then Krishna says that you are a mityachara. Mityachara sa uchyate, you're a pretender. You're practicing hypocrisy, you're not practicing bhakti. So it may be one thing to take saffron cloth, for example, or take sannyas cloth and leave, like not engage in certain things that are enjoyments, discard enjoyments that most people in the world accept in their life and look for. But it's another thing if you do that, but you're still thinking about those things and your eyes are still in the direction of those objects of enjoyment. So Maharaj was very careful, and that's what I mean by strict with his mind. I'll give you an example. I don't know if I should mention this necessarily, but anyway, Maharaj was open about it, so perhaps I can be as well. If Maharaj said, this was before he accepted sannyas, but he was already in saffron, and he said to me once, he said, sometimes, for service, I have to be, so whether it's publishing or something else, you cannot avoid devotees because of their gender. You have to honor and respect and encourage everyone. But he said, I am very careful that if I sense that there's any kind of, like anything that doesn't feel clean, when I'm with any women devotees, then I put an end to it immediately. He actually said that one thing he would do is just he said he would pass air openly in the room, because that immediately kills any spirit of romantic notion or spirit of enjoyment. It indicates that I have no interest in that. So he would do that. He was very frugal. So he didn't want to waste anything, water, money. Remember in Mathura, I would sometimes, the water I'd wait for the water to start. So I'd just put the tap on and have the bucket underneath. And then it would be pouring and I'd be busy and it would overflow in the bucket. And he would he would be upset about that. He said, water is Krishna's energy. Everything is Krishna's energy. Use it with great care. Otherwise, you won't have it. And what that did, I saw, is that it had there were a few things important benefits that came from that. One is that Maharaj needed very little. He lived really a very simple life. It meant he could live simply. And he didn't complicate his life. That's something I saw. So that meant that he would have time for what really matters, his sadhan, bhajan, and encouraging devotees all over the world. I saw, had, or I should use the present tense, he has deep faith in Sri Guru and Vaishnavas, especially our Srila Gurudev and our Srila Prabhupada. So he was always thinking how to please them, whether through books, teaching, his daily Harinam, reading, caring for others, living in the Dham. In fact, come to think of it, the verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Sadhu Sanganam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Maturava Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. He did all of that. His life was dedicated to that. So that's what I mean by the simple lessons. Those teachings are all there right in front of us in the words of the Vaishnavas, the words of our Srila Gurudev in Shastra. But he put them into practice. And we have the mantra, the pranam mantra of our Srila Gurudev, Tridaṇḍīnam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha. So Srila Gurudev is Bhakta Shiromanim Cha. So the central jewel of the Bhaktas, Tridaṇḍīnam, that's in the genitive case, plural. So among the sannyasis, he is the foremost among the sannyasis. So I always remember Srila Gurudev, I think we all do. He was always surrounded by sannyasis. When he was at even very early on, from when I first met him, he was surrounded by the sannyasis of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti. And then he was surrounded by sannyasis. And one of those jewels in Tridaṇḍīnam is Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. And I pray that Maharaj will remember me and bless me to follow his example. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa santubhya eva cha patitana pavanebhyo Shri Vaishnavebhyo namo. Pujapad Srila Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki jai. Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Wow. That was, yeah, so I was taking notes while you were speaking. I have like 11 points here that were just so valuable, that really beautifully highlighted these qualities of Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja in a way that's very applicable in our lives also. Because yeah, I really like the point you said that, like, progress in bhakti doesn't depend on complicated things. And if just, yeah, a few of those simple practices that our Guru Bhargava emphasized, if we just really follow them, then it's so simple and easy and joyful also. And Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, yeah, everything was so practical, and he made it so practical. He tried to make it, all these teachings, all these teachings so practical in everyone's life that they could actually apply it. So wow, thank you so much. So now, I forgot. I spoke to Srivas yesterday, and I forgot. I was a busy day yesterday, but Srivas said that he had just a couple, like a few little sweet stories to share about Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, and so yeah, Srivas, would you like to share that now, or
No, I can wait till after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we will hear now from Vraj Kishori Didi, if you are ready. Let me see if I can ask to unmute. Okay, perfect.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Madhukar Prabhu, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. So just like to offer my deepest respectful obeisances to my beloved Gurudev, Nityalila Vivishta Om Shri Śrīmāda Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, and His Divine Grace, Nityalila Vivishta Om Shri Śrīmāda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and to His Grace Śrīpāda Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, and to all the devotees present. So I just wanted to say a few words. I was lucky to meet Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja 41 years ago. I visited New Govardhan Farm in Australia. I hadn't actually joined the ISKCON movement yet, but I just was there for one day and I met him. He was one of the first people I met, and he took me to his home to meet his wife. And Govardhan was like a little baby in her arms. So right from my very beginning, I have had Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja in my life, and he put me under the care of my very loving big sister, Vajantimala. And so I was very grateful that I got to be in Vrindavan on the day that he left. And I was just going to speak a few things about that. I see I only have 3 minutes. Is that right, Madhukar?
No. You have 15 to 20 minutes. So, yeah.
It just it's like a little timer in the corner, and it says 3 minutes. So
Don't worry about that. That was a mistake.
Yeah, so much to say. I'm very, very grateful to you, Madhukar, for arranging these glorifications. I think it's so important for all the worldwide Sangha of devotees, both within Gurudev Sangha and outside of Gurudev Sangha, who have previously had their lives touched by Maharaj, but I think who their appreciation and gratitude to him will be increased by this glorification. So it's said, one of the reasons that we celebrate the disappearance day of Vaishnavas is because when they appear, we don't know their glories. And so, yes, it's very wonderful to be looking back retrospectively at Maharaj's life and seeing how glorious his life has become, and to be hearing so many of those glories. So on the day that he left, I was going in the early mornings, going on many, on darshans, Mangalarti darshans, and usually I wouldn't come back till maybe 9 o'clock. But on that day, there was a big storm happened in Vrindavan, and so I came back early. I was staying with Vajantimala, and when I got back there, then very soon after arriving back early, the phone call arrived that Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja had left. So I was very grateful to be there, to be able to support her. And she initially thought she wouldn't be involved in any way in his departure because she had taken his vow of sannyas very, very seriously. She also, in one sense, had taken a vow of sannyas and honored that very deeply. And so she didn't think that it would be appropriate for her to be involved in any way whatsoever. But because he is a foreign national, and because his body needed to be released from the hospital, and a death certificate needed to be, so much paperwork needed to be done to have his body released. And Govardhan couldn't come from Norway because of the war and the time difference. Also, he very generously, once he finally heard about Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, actually the world knew before Govardhan knew because of the time difference. And that was a great anxiety for Vajanti. But Govardhan, he very selflessly said, I don't want to delay the auspiciousness of the proceedings just for my sake. So I want that everything goes ahead without me. So it was understood, because they were still legally married, that she could be the person to sign all the papers so that he could be released. So it was also a day where the President of India was visiting Vrindavan, so everything was under lockdown. It was practically impossible to get in or out of Vrindavan. But one devotee, Abhishek Prabhu, who is a lawyer and a very, he had received much inspiration from Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja and was very eager to serve him and had served him in many ways. He contacted Vajanti and he said, please consider me to be like your son. Today I will do whatever I can as a son. So he made all arrangements for us to be able to get out of Vrindavan. He sent a motorbike and then he sent a car to the Rangaji temple, and it took us about an hour and a half to get to the Govardhan turnoff, and then he did his magic at the Govardhan turnoff and managed to clear all the traffic ahead of us and get the gates opened and get us through. And he had been traveling to Navadvip the night before, but something happened. He'd come from, I think, Amritsar or somewhere, or Andhra Pradesh, and his onward flight, something happened and he didn't go onward and he ended up in Vrindavan. So he happened to be there for that, to be able to help in that way. And when we got to the hospital, we were maybe for 4 hours. There was so much paperwork, so much different forms and contacting the embassy. So they take it very seriously. If a foreign national dies, they do not release the body easily in case there's something has gone wrong. And so they have to make sure everything is totally in order. So Abhishek Prabhu, Ambarish Prabhu, they were very supportive in helping everything go ahead. And after about 4 hours, then there was a go ahead. With the Canadian embassy, everything actually was it felt like it was just being looked after so carefully. There was a final hiccup just before that when the police came and said, oh no, the doctor won't sign the certificates to say the cause of death, even though Maharaj had such a long history with heart problems. And they said, we'll have to do an autopsy, which was the last thing that anyone wanted. Maharaj himself had requested that in his final wishes, and that no autopsy should be performed. So that also was navigated by the devotees very carefully and overcome. And after that happened, I went down the hallway and one devotee was sitting there, Rupa Manjari, and she said, would you like to see Maharaj? And I said, yes. And I thought I should take darshan first, and then if it's okay, then I'll call Vajanti. And so he was actually just in the hallway right where we were the whole time. We didn't realize he was just around the corner. But when she took down the cover off his head, then I saw that he had this beautiful smile on his face. In fact, I hadn't seen him look that happy ever. And his eyes were just ever so slightly open. And usually when you see a departed body, the thing that really strikes you is that the light has gone out of the eyes. But somehow or other, when I looked at his face, I felt like there was like a twinkle in his eye. It was as though he had seen something very wondrous and he was like, and the smile had come on his face as though he was going towards something very beautiful and very wonderful. That was the impression that I felt from seeing his face. And so I said, Vajanti, you have to come, you have to come, you have to see him, please come. And then we tried to take some photos, but it really just didn't capture the same feeling and the same mood as when we were seeing him, in real time. And we called Govardhan and asked him if he would like to see, and we put it on a video call. And he had been crying, but when he saw Maharaj, slowly a smile came onto his face, and then a very large smile came over his face, because it was so much, so heartwarming and so inspiring to see the state of him that he must have left on such a high note and such a good note. And devotees had said that who was staying in the same house, they had noticed that at 1:30 in the morning, his light was on. And that was his habit, to rise very early and chant early in the morning. And as we know, he gave the beautiful class the night before. And then at 3:30, that there had been some exchange with him. And then at 5 o'clock, devotees had contacted him to see if he needed anything, and there was no response. So he obviously left in that Brahma Muhurta time, somewhere between 3:30 and 5. And then some devotees started coming to the hospital, and there was 2 devotees. I'm sorry, I forget the name. One devotee from Hong Kong, and the other, and her husband from Holland, I think. They had visited Maharaj a few days earlier in Radhakund, and he said, "I'm sorry, I'm so busy, I can't meet with you now." He said, "But if you come at Thursday at 4 o'clock, at that time, I can. At that time, you can see me, and I will be free." And so they arrived at the hospital right on 4, and that was right at the time that he got the clearance that he was able to leave the hospital and then to go to Gurudev's mat, and then for the cremation to take place. So they were like, when they were there, she looked down at her watch and said, "It's 4 o'clock. He said we could see him at 4 and that he would be free." So from there, the hospital in Radhakund was very close to Gurudev's mat. He had left in his room in Radhakund, but the owners of the house had his body taken to the hospital. And so then miraculously all the clearance came through, and he was taken to Gurudev's mat and circumambulating Gurudev's Pushpa Samadhi, and then into the temple and circumambulating the deities. And many devotees had gathered, even though it was so difficult for anyone to get out of Vrindavan. I'm sure there would have been many, many more devotees had the lockdown in Vrindavan not been so intense. But devotees came from Delhi, they came from Faridabad, and it was a very, very beautiful atmosphere. And his body was taken to the cremation grounds in Radhakund, which is very close to where he previously lived in Radhakund. And it was now a beautiful evening. Because it had rained so much in the day, the sky was very clear and very blue. And nowadays there's usually quite a lot of smog in the air, but the rain that in the morning had cleared everything, and the sky was felt very fresh and very clear. And I felt very strange even thinking this, but I was feeling like the cremation was actually very beautiful. His body, usually ladies aren't allowed to be there, but we were to the side, and there was a saffron cloth put around his body. His body was laid out, and by this stage it was covered with many garlands, and they put a saffron cloth around him like a screen, and the devotees bathed his body with Radhakund water. Akincha Maharaj wrote the sannyas mantras on his chest. Many garlands were then, he was dressed in fresh cloth, and many more garlands were placed on his body, and devotees got a chance to offer flowers to him. His body actually became very golden in colour, and he left before sunrise, and he was cremated before sunset, and which was not an easy task to get all the clearances from another country on the other side of the world with time differences. But it felt like everything was just divinely looked after and divinely arranged. And the actual funeral pyre was very beautiful, very large cow dung patties, just completely out of cow dung patties, ghee, and camphor. And they made it like a large platform, like a bed, maybe a metre high. out of the cow dung patties, and then his body, garlanded body, was laid on top of that bed, and then on top of that bed, then more cow dung patties were covered his whole entire body, so that you could not see his body at all. And then the fire became so high that the flames went very high, which apparently is a very auspicious sign. And just there, in a very simple, beautiful way, with 4 pillars, each with the name of Radhe, Radhe, Radhe on the 4 pillars in this open air crematorium in Radhakund, as the devotees did kirtan for an hour and a half. So I felt very privileged to be there. It felt very, very auspicious. Somehow or other, it was very happy, sad. It felt very like a very glorious, glorious departure, and very divinely arranged and ordained. And then being with Vaijayantimala over the days after that, she received so many messages from so many people from all around the world. Maybe close to 150 people contacted her and sent messages, and she actually responded to everyone, which was amazing to me. But just seeing how much he had touched so many people's lives. And one of the most reoccurring themes during that time was people were saying, I hadn't spoken to him for years. Some people even, I hadn't spoken to him for 10 years, or but he contacted me recently, or I just contacted him recently out of the blue. That was like such a reoccurring theme, that people said either they had contacted him recently or he had contacted them, and that had very beautiful exchanges. And even Govi, he sent us a message where he had a very beautiful exchange with him, I think 3 days prior, where they really expressed their gratitude and appreciation for each other. And that was just a recurring theme with so many devotees, that they were giving this information. And hearing also from his family members, it was very sweet hearing from his brother, especially. He had like the biggest, he was a part-time musician, and he had the biggest concert of his life that night. And he was not sure how he was going to be able to perform, but he was just, it was so beautiful how he shared how encouraging Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja was to him in his life and his affection for him. Because as we know, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja was so strict in his own life, his own practices, his own dedication, but he had such a skill of being liberal with others, strict with himself and liberal with others, and encouraging with others. And I found it so heartwarming. His brother said, if I think most about what I could say about him, he said, I felt unconditional love from him. And I thought that was just so heartwarming. He said he gave me so much encouragement in my life, but he hadn't done it in a preachy sort of way. He had supported him in what was important to him, and that he felt unconditional love. Usually your family members, they have a different experience of you than other people in the world. So I found that very, very inspiring to hear the effect that even after all these years that Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja still had on his family members. And he had managed to keep in, he would keep in some kind of regular contact with him also. So I just would like to say so many things about his classes, his contribution, his dedication. It's really very inspiring for everyone, I think, to see how aspiration, inspiration, and dedication, how much he had of those. He really took the aspirations that Gurudev wanted to put into his heart. He took them, and he took them with great inspiration, and then he lived with great dedication to follow those aspirations. And because of that, he attained a great destination. And he wasn't wasn't cowered down by qualification. He wasn't cowered down by thinking, I haven't come from a high birth, I haven't come from certain background. He didn't let lack of qualification and get in the way of aspiration and inspiration and dedication. And I think that's something that all of us can take very deeply to heart. He wanted so much that everyone really understood what Srila Gurudev was trying to give, and the gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he didn't want that Gurudev's conceptions be lost to the world. He was so eager to put those conceptions deeply into the devotees' hearts and for them to make those conceptions their own. And he was a very good teacher. He would break things down, make it very digestible, and make things into chunks and get people to understand aspects very deeply. And he would test people. He would get them to have to repeat things and present things. And he really wanted people, those who were listening to his classes, he really wanted to help them take everything very deeply. Like Sundar Gopal Prabhu was saying, he really cared to see others go up. And but especially this rag bhakti, he really didn't want that this become lost one generation after Gurudev. He wanted that it be spread far and wide, the conceptions, and that they were understood deeply, and that this aspiration was taken deeply into the heart. And not in a cheap way at all. As we can see, his practices were so serious. Even before coming to Gurudev, he was chanting 64 rounds a day and trying very seriously. But then, of course, after Gurudev's association, everything became so much deeper. And as Sundar Prabhu said, he wasn't interested in politics of any kind. He moved away on his own, and he found a way that he could serve that would be pleasing to Gurudev, first through the publications, but then through trying to take his own sadhana bhajan very seriously and sharing with others and teaching with others. So he dived deep into the Ganga in Navadvip, and he came out in Radhakund. So this is very beautiful. I think my time is up. I have many things that I could say, but I think I should leave it there. And again, I thank Madhukar Prabhu. I'm looking forward to listening to all of the devotees' offerings, and we have such a treasure of resources that Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja has left behind, and the audio books, that is an invaluable service that he did. Also, he made Gurudev's books very accessible for people. And yeah, just like to offer my deepest respectful obeisances to him. I felt close, like a family member in one sense, and when you're a little familiar, then you may not appreciate things as deeply as those who are not so familiar. So I'm really grateful to hearing the glorifications from all the devotees, and I'm very grateful that he brought me into his family and helped me in the family of Srila Gurudev. Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki jai.
Jai. Wow. I haven't yet heard such a detailed account of his departure yet. So many details, and just how auspicious everything was, and how and yeah, despite all the problems, everything managed to still happen quickly, which is Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja always wanted everything to be quick and like just get it over with. And still somehow it managed to all happen before just in one day. And yeah, I really love hearing there are many qualities, and we're hearing the same qualities over and over again, but from so many different perspectives. And yeah. Anyways, I don't want to I don't want to take up too much time. Like but I was talking with one devotee yesterday about how nice it would be if all these all these things that we've been like inspirations from Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, all these things, these qualities that he had, and like if this could all be compiled. And because that was Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, that was something I've never seen this in anybody, how he would follow through with people. He never wanted things just to be a one-off inspiration, like there's a festival and everybody's inspired and then over time, then it fizzles out. But he never wanted anything to fizzle out. And so that's why he would always follow through with everybody, like for years, for some devotees, like 10 years, and he'd be following through with them weekly and making them actually. And so with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, right now I'm feeling so inspired hearing all these beautiful remembrances and these qualities and like that. But how can, like following him, how he didn't want it just to be a one-off inspiration, how can we? And so I'm just, anyways, I'm going to stop talking now. But thank you so much. That was really inspiring. Thank you. Hari Priya Didi and Vanamali Prabhu, if you'd like to unmute yourself and you can share your remembrances.
You go first.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go first. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikale Pyatni Śrīmāda Bhaktivedanta Narayani Tanamne Vanchakalpa Tribhishcha Kripasindavyeva Patitanam Pavanbhyo Vaishnavyo Namaha. Oh wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Rajagishori. That was just incredible, very emotional, and I was like being there. So thank you so much for that. It's really, really beautiful. Well, everyone has spoken in such different ways that some have actually had one-on-one relationship with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, but in mine it was sort of like, it wasn't a one-on-one. It was like a family thing, like because he came to Christchurch quite a few times, and it was like all of a sudden he was just part of our family, because our Sangha here is quite small and we're very family orientated. And it's sort of like all of a sudden he's just another member of our family. When he stayed at our place when we were in Australia, he just didn't want to be served in it. And it was before he was a sannyasi, I think, wasn't it? Before he was a sannyasi. And he just wanted to be part of the family. He said, just let me know where all the tea and coffee, well, not coffee, sorry. The tea bags are, and just let me help myself. So he just helped himself, and he was just part of the family. He was just another member staying with us. So he didn't really want that to feel like he was being served and was special. He just wanted to be there. And that was in Australia. He also stayed with us here in New Zealand a couple of times. Same thing. He was just in our house, and he was just a visitor, but part of our family. So my relationship was like as a family member, not as like a Shiksha guru or anything like that. It was just like a personal family member. And he became part of our Sangha. Because we also have a WhatsApp group, which is the Christchurch group, and he's on our WhatsApp Christchurch group. So whenever we put messages out on our WhatsApp group, every now and then he would make his comments of what's going on in Christchurch. So he was sort of like Christchurch devotee. One of the so that's how I felt as his. That was the sort of relationship, was a family member. But he was, of course, very encouraging to everybody and very personal. He knew everybody. He always wanted to know how everyone was. One of the things he also had in New Zealand here, I think he had about 4 japa retreats. I didn't get to the first one. But the second one we had, it was amazing. I remember, because like it was manavrat, so there was no speaking unless it was class time. And actually, I didn't find the chanting 64 was hard. it was actually not talking was my hardest problem because I'm very social. So I thought, oh my God, this is so hard not to speak. So, but the 64 rounds was incredible. I mean, doing it a few days in a row, it's like, you know, we stop and have lunch, we're allowed to talk. And then in the evening we have a class. So then we could share what our realizations were. And I felt like I was on a high. And when Maharaj gave a class, I felt like, oh my God, I can hear everything. It's like, oh, I can understand it all. It's like the 64 rounds sort of cleared my heart and made it like open to actually absorbing what he is talking about. It was like, oh, I feel like I've just put some hearing aids in my ears. And it was just incredible, the feeling from sounding 64 rounds. And one of the things that became a typical word in our group was a wow. And that was because I used this word, a wow, W-O-W, because it was the only way I could express, you know, having a realization. I said, wow, I had a real good, it was like a wow, you know, something just clicked. And so that became a word that he used. Oh, did you have a wow, did you? So this was like, you know, a realization. So it was, okay, we're going to, oh, she had a wow. So that was part of our like communication of having a realization. So that sort of became a typical word. He was very personal. One time we had Gorpanim here, and it was during COVID, but we still got together, and we arranged that Maharaj would come on a Zoom and speak during our program. And during that, actually, we're very fortunate. I got an audio of it, and it's so clear. And he's saying, "Oh, what time is it over there? And have you broken fast yet?" And he's asked, "Oh, where's Hasharani?" And oh, there's Gitamrita. And you know, he'd be asking about everybody and how they were. And so he's really personal and very caring. Excuse me. And so it was like there he was, our dear friend Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja is you know, coming to our little group again, and part of our little Christchurch group. And you know, but then he'd speak about Lord Chaitanya, and then he'd be speaking personal things again. And it was really, really special. And yeah, and he had someone arriving in his room, had dye all over them. He said, "Oops, I've got visitors. Oh, I think they're going to be chasing me around trying to get dye on me." And so he was putting them off so he wouldn't have to deal with them. I also think, well, he also liked to engage everyone and doing some service. He actually got me to what was it called? My husband's got it on his phone. I keep forgetting what it is.
The 6 opulences.
Oh, the 6 opulences. I had to do a drawing of the tree and all the different opulences. So I can sort of see it, I think. Can you see it? Not really.
Sort of, maybe if you
No.
hold, yeah, we can see an outline of it, not so clearly though. Okay, yes, you can see, yes.
Yeah, so I did that. And so he used that a lot. Plus also, because my service to Gurudev was painting. And he was always encouraging me to continue painting. And one thing he did do was he had a picture of one of my paintings on his wall and wherever he was living. And I found out through other devotees that during his puja in the morning, he also worshipped my painting, a picture of Radha and Lalita. So I felt quite chuffed about that. It was really sweet. Because it's not my painting, it's Gurudev's painting, and it's Gurudev's mood. So actually he's doing service to Gurudev. So one thing was very special. It hadn't to do with me. It was actually my brother called Bhakti Ras, and he joined as a devotee before I did in ISKCON. Anyway, in 2007, he was diagnosed with cancer. So he'd met Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja quite a few times when he came before he got cancer. So they sort of they gelled quite well. They got on quite well. Anyway, when my brother's health got quite bad, he was living in a palliative care unit, and twice a week the devotees would come and we'd have in the lounge would have some kirtan. So okay, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja comes and he sees what was going on, and he actually got on my brother's case. So I know that sounds funny, because you know he's when he sees something that is not right, it doesn't matter what your situation, even if you're, you know, you've got cancer and you're going to die. He got on his case because he's saying, look, for him, he could see that you're having this kirtan and that you're the center and you think you're special. So you should be distributing prasadam, not sitting there getting all, you know, oh, you're the center of attention and I'm sick and all that sort of thing. So he got right on his case. So from then on, you know, Hasharani would make cakes and biscuits, and my brother would go around and the rest home and distribute prasadam every time. So that way it woke him up to think, you know, why do you think you're special? You know, everyone's going to die. But you're sitting there, you know, with everyone's doing kirtan, thinking, oh, poor boy, you know, because that's what he was sort of like. So that sort of woke him up. So he doesn't hesitate to get on someone's case when they really need it, when he sees that it's bad for them, that they're in a situation that they think that's, you know, here I am, sort of thing. So that was quite good. Plus that that year, my brother actually met Gurudev. He went up to Auckland and he met him. So that was really fantastic. But then later on, he hadn't actually taken shelter of Gurudev so much, but he did write letters to him. But later on in that year, Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja arranged a Skype, because Zoom wasn't existing then, with Srila Gurudev for my brother to get Gopal Mantra to help him. And so he got Gopal Mantra over a Skype. And so Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja actually arranged that. And my brother was beaming from ear to ear. It was just, he was so happy. And so Maharaj really helped him a heap of a lot. And, you know, fortunately his leaving was very auspicious. So that was how he helped my brother. And I really respect and appreciate what he did for him, because he didn't, you know, hold back with enthusiasm. And what is it? I also met my mum, where we took him out to meet my mother, and they just talked about records, you know, what do you call them? Vinyl records. So, because, you know, she's not going to talk about spiritual things, but, you know, she met him and thought he was really nice. Yeah, so he never forgot about us. And he always was checking in and making sure everybody was okay. Like I said, he was like just part of the family, and he was very caring. He also got on our case if we needed it. Very sharp at times, but we had to take it. But that's the way he was. I feel some concern for his disciples, that we really need to support them, because we know what it's like going through, you know, losing the guru's personal association. And my heart goes out to Govi and to Vaijanti and all his family. And yeah, it's very. I actually was in shock after I'd heard that he'd left his body. It took me a few days to sort of, wow, it can't be, you know. It's sort of like 1 minute you're there, next minute you're gone. And it's sort of like that's going to happen to us. We have no idea when it's going to be, and we have to be prepared for that and take example from how he lived his life. And I pray that I have get some of his qualities, that I might be able to be more announced. But also Gurudev's mercy, that he was such a dedicated disciple and follower of Gurudev, that he showed by example, and really appreciate all the association that we had, and I pray that yeah. Anyway, Vanchikakalpa Tribhushaya Kritisnideva Patitanam Padam Piro Vaishnava. Yeah.
Om Vishnu Padaya Radhika Yoga, Sisabhat Bhakti Vedanta, Narayan, Dayam, Param Dasagananjanas, Jackson, doesn't say over there. Yeah, I'd like to thank you also, Madhika, for facilitating this these Zoom meetings. It's wonderful to be able to hear the glories of Maharaj, because yeah, when we're close to someone, we generally don't appreciate them as much as when they disappear. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that the fire of separation, it shines the light of realization upon the object of attachment. So it's kind of like that. And Gurudev told us one time, he said, "Oh, I have left so many jewels. I have left some hidden jewels all around the world." And Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja was definitely one of those jewels. And when we're hearing from all these different personalities, just as a jewel is many-faceted, we're getting so much different insights into the qualities of Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. We're seeing from our point of view, from our perception. And when we're hearing from other devotees, we're seeing so many, just like you shine a light on a jewel, so many different colors will come out of that jewel. So by this association, by this Sangha, we're hearing like this is shining a light upon our friend, our mentor, our our guide in many ways, and we're seeing so many beautiful qualities and that we may not have actually perceived before coming out. So we're very, very grateful. It's very, very, very kind, and it's very wonderful to have the association of the Vaishnavas. So I first met Maharaj in 1979. I joined the temple in Melbourne, and Maharaj had joined up in Mooloolaba, New Govardhan. So we're a couple of thousand miles apart, but the boys from New Govardhan came down to Melbourne in December in '79 to do the Christmas marathon. So at that time, the Govardhan devotees, the brahmacharis, were a little rough around the edges. To say the least. So we're warned to be careful when they come, because they're diamonds in the rough. So they came and they stayed for maybe 10 days in Melbourne, I think, at that time. But I noticed that Maharaj was a little bit different. He was a little bit more refined. And of course, he was a little older. We were in our early 20s, and he was already 30, I think, at that time. So he was a little older, and he was a little bit more refined. But you could see that actually he was very serious about his devotional life. And even though he was just a young devotee, only been in a devotee for not very long, but you could see that he was actually very sincere about his devotional practices, very determined, very, very focused on his sadhana, on his bhajan. Actually, it was funny because I'd actually joined up about 2 or 3 weeks before him. So sometimes I would joke with him, "Oh, Maharaj, who is senior here?" But he would counter. He said, "Oh, but who is older?" But actually, he was senior in every way, in every regard, and in the most special way because of his bhakti. Because he has such bhakti, such dedication to Gurudev. He was exceptional, and I looked up to him as someone who could give guidance in my devotional life, who I could reveal my heart and my mind to, and know that there was no judgment there. There was no ego there. That he was actually just had he was genuinely concerned about not only my situation in devotional life, but everybody's situation in devotional life. He was genuinely concerned about everybody. And so I was very happy when I heard that he had become temple president up in New Govardhan. I thought, well, he's a qualified person to do like that. Then I think I think it was 89. I can't remember now. We went to Vrindavan. We were in Vrindavan. And at that time, we were living in Sydney at the time. We were considering staying in Sydney or actually residing in Vrindavan. So we went to Vrindavan, and Maharaj and Vajanti Mala had also just moved to Vrindavan at that time. And they were moving there permanently. So I was talking with Maharaj because, what to do. And his position was, well, no, here's the opportunity to be in the Dham. And not only to be in the Dham and to serve the Dham, but to actually have the association of the Dham buses. And for him, this is an extremely important thing. For me, I was thinking about preaching, going back to Australia. I had preaching opportunities and so many things. But he was determined, had that determination. Actually, no, this is the best place for me to develop my devotional life. And I was very impressed by that because living in Australia, he had a house on the farm there. He had a position. He was temple president. He had a comfortable lifestyle. So living in Vrindavan was very austere back in those days, especially. It wasn't an easy place to live. But he had that determination, and he had made up his mind. That's what he wanted to do. So I was very impressed by that. I thought, well, this is very good. There was a continuous flow of sincerity in his devotion that never wavered at any point. I never saw him waver at any point in his determination and in his sincerity in his practice of bhakti. So that was a very poignant moment when I was talking to him there like that. And then of course we would see him, we would go in 91 and 93, we're also there in Vrindavan, and Gurudev would come and he would speak at Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. And so we would be there, and that was always a very special time. And at that point, then Maharaj, he had the determination to then take the association of Srila Gurudev, to actually be in that association. He had that because he had that sincere desire. Prabhupada made this point one time: how can we know who is qualified guru? So Prabhupada said, you have the determination in your heart, you have the sincere desire in your heart, Krishna will lead you to guru. So because Maharaj had that sincere desire within his heart, then Krishna led him to the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev. And there he was completely happy, engaged in his service to Gurudev. He told me one time that he had said to Gurudev, oh, Gurudev, I have no love for you. I'm in debt. He was feeling like this. This is humility. This is coming from the depths of the humble heart of the Vaishnava. Gurudev said to him, he said, no, what are you talking about? Gurudev chastised him. He said, no, you're doing so much service. You're doing so much service for me. You are helping with the publications. You are doing so much service on the parikramas, organizing the buses, organizing so much things on the parikramas. He said, you say you have no love for me, but then this love is manifesting through this service. This is you're showing your love for me, that you have so much love for me. So don't tell me that you have no love for me. You have so much love for me. So, and he had that complete focus on Gurudev, what Gurudev was giving. When Gurudev was giving class, you could see that Maharaj, he was completely focused. He was completely focused on what Gurudev was saying. Whenever he was in Gurudev's association, he was completely focused, not only for himself, but for others. He would take notes because he wanted to imbibe everything that Gurudev was saying, not only for himself, but for others. He wanted to teach. This was his method. He was a teacher. So he wanted to give whatever he was getting from Gurudev. It wasn't for himself. He wanted to give. This is the quality of a Vaishnava. Prabhupada, he speaks like this also, that if someone is getting some knowledge, but he is not giving that knowledge, then that his heart will dry up. It's like a well that goes dry, and it just becomes a disturbance and becomes dangerous for the society in general. But if someone's heart is being filled with this beautiful guitar that's been coming down throughout the civic succession, and they wants to give that, then the guru becomes very pleased. He becomes very happy, and he'll give more and more and more and more and more. So we saw this with our Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja, that Gurudev gave so much because Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja was giving this. He wasn't holding it for himself, but he wanted to give. So Gurudev was very pleased with him. Gurudev was very happy. He was such a qualified disciple. And then, of course, when he was coming here to New Zealand, he came to our house in Australia, stayed a couple of times. And I noticed that also there, that anyone who even began to speak even one syllable of criticism against any devotee, immediately he would stop them. Immediately, I don't want to hear this. He would be very straight to them. I don't want to hear this. It wasn't any beating around the bush. It was it was just like, stop. I don't want to hear this. Any criticism of the Vaishnavas. Nothing. No politics. No criticism. We're just here to glorify Radha and Krishna. We're just here to glorify Gurudev. We're here to perform our sadhan bhajan, and that's it. Bus. Nothing else. So this was very, very encouraging. This is very wonderful because it stops all of that nonsense from happening within a devotional community. So it was very strong. And when he came here to New Zealand, he helped our community so much. He strengthened our community in Christchurch here so much. We had those japa retreats where he was emphasizing chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant 64 rounds. He encourages, don't just chant 16 rounds a day, chant as much as you can. 16 rounds will only just be a little helpful, but won't give you what you're looking for. So he encouraged us in that way. Don't be satisfied just doing the bare minimum. You can increase, you can do more, you can do more. And when you're reading the books, study the books. Don't just read them and then put the book down. But read the book, take notes, try and understand, pray to the books. As Gurudev would tell us, pray to these books to get realization from these books. So Maharaj was emphasizing this to us also. He was passing on what Gurudev had taught him, that we approach these literatures in a devotional mood. We want to learn what's in these books, not just on an intellectual level, but on a heart level. It's kind of ironic, really, that Maharaj had, if physically or materially, his heart wasn't so good, but spiritually, his heart was like gold. Spiritually, his heart was pure and wonderful and sweet, and he was giving so much love from his heart to all the devotees. So he was preaching on that level. And even those devotees, like here in Christchurch, we're not so intellectual. We're not like scholars or anything like that.
Simple.
We're simple. Devotees here are very simple-hearted, very simple-minded, very sweet, very wonderful devotees. So Maharaj reciprocated like that with us all. He reciprocated on that level. He came and he taught and he gave us everything that he could give us, and reciprocated with us on such a personal level that we all completely fell in love with Maharaj. This is our Maharaj. He became very protective, and he was ours. We felt like that. And I'm sure all the devotees around the world have the same feeling, that he was ours. He was part of our Sangha. He was our Maharaj. And every time I would see him, he would ask, how is this devotee? How is that? He would not just simply ask, how are the devotee? How are they doing in Christchurch? Every individual devotee, he would ask, how are they doing? Are they okay? Is this one okay? How's this one? And he would be completely aware of, this one was having some problems. How are they doing now? How is this? How is it? He was completely enwrapped in our lives. He was completely genuine about his concern for us and wanting to help us. And this developed a mood of love within our Sangha. It developed a mood of genuine commitment to devotional life, genuine commitment to each other, that we see each other on a level of devotion, not the external facets of devotional life, but internally as a person. And this is a very wonderful thing, and it strengthened us so much and gave us so much hope for the future. So, of course, now we are feeling bereft, but we have his teachings that he has given us. We have his example, we have his inspiration, and we are following through on his inspiration for us all to actually develop our spiritual life and to make advancement in our spiritual life. And now he's given us the ultimate lesson, really, now that actually you live your life in a mood of love and devotion. You dedicate yourself 100% to sadhana, to service the Guru and the Vaishnavas. And your leaving of this body will be very, very sweet, very auspicious. And oh yeah, Hari Krishna. And also he helped me very much because he engaged me in a lot of editing service that I did for somebody. Like we worked on about 8 or 9 different books together, which was very, very wonderful of him to do that, to engage me in some service like that. So yes, we are feeling bereft, but we're very grateful that we've had his association and that we've imbibed, hopefully, some of the lessons that he has taught us, and our hearts have been opened by his association, and we can continue to develop in our spiritual life. So Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki
Jai.
Thank you, Hari Priya Didi and Vanamali Prabhu. So many nice points, and I don't want any of these points to disappear. That's why I really think it'd be nice if all these were collected and preserved in some form. One devotee was speaking to me about this, so I'll keep you all updated if we actually, if somehow we're able to organize something, because I just for all of you, all these points that you're making, I want to highlight them all, and I don't want but just one point both of you are mentioning about how with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja there's no beating around the bush, and it's a really important teaching for me because I'm such a people pleaser, and because of that, it makes me not fully honest. And sometimes I'll get into situations that aren't favorable for myself. And also I'll create situations that aren't favorable for other people. And but he was just so direct and honest. You didn't need to wonder what he really meant or like what he wants to express to you. Just say it, right? Like he'll say whatever he thinks will be best for you. And because he was so genuinely concerned about everyone's progress, their well-being, it didn't just, you could like trust it, and also he wasn't just honest with others, but he was honest with himself. What would be best, what would be most favorable for himself. And like Sundar Gopal was mentioning how he was aware of such subtle forms of enjoyment in himself, and as soon as he detected it, he would just cut it. And so he wouldn't let these unhealthy things sneak in himself and also for others. And what would please Gurudev most? And so I'm very grateful for your remembrances. This is normally the time that our program ends, but I think Shivas, he has a few things that he'd like to share, and if anybody needs to go, because I know for some devotees it's late, devotees on the other side of the world, and so if you have to go, you don't need to worry about missing anything because this is all being streamed on YouTube and Facebook, so you could also watch the rest on YouTube and Facebook. But yeah,
I
Shivas,
think
if you'd like to
actually
come on.
because Krishna Priya has to go out, so I have to be
Okay.
with Kish. So I think I can't really speak now. So
Okay.
I'll try to be back tomorrow. And
Perfect. Yeah, because we're
okay.
going to be doing this program for a few more days. And so, okay, great.
Great.
So then we can still finish on time. And
Right.
yeah, I'm so grateful for all the devotees who joins today, who shared their loving memories and their homages, and also all the devotees who are joining to listen. And I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Dandavat pranamas. Thank you so much. And Jai Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja ki Jai. tomorrow we will be hearing from Krishna Karunya Maharaj, who spent a lot of time with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja in those early days working in the publications, and also Amal Krishna Prabhu, who also had, like a very special relationship with Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. They won't be able to join live because they have other things going on at that time, but we're going to have a Zoom session, just a private Zoom session. I'm going to record it, and then we'll replay it tomorrow. And we'll also hear from Shrivas and Manjulali Didi, and yeah, I think we're going to be doing this program for maybe another 3 or 4 days. And also at the very last day, some devotees aren't able to come onto Zoom, or some people are shy and don't want to, but so if anyone watching right now, if you're too shy to come on the video, you can write your remembrances, your homage, and I will read them on the last day. So please send them to me. Or if you want to come on and join on the Zoom program and share directly, then please also contact me. And if I forgot about you and you contacted me before, also please send me a reminder, because I'm a little bit splayed out. But all right, I'll just sing a very short Mahamantra and Jaidvani, and then we'll end. So. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Jai Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai, Jai Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Jai Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Abhinna Vrindavan Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Shri Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Priman, our Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja Ki Jai, Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Primanande, Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody here. Hari Priya Didi, Vanamali Prabhu, Bhadra Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Brajkishori Didi, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, Shrivas Prabhu, and Bhavatarani Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, if he's there, Rasamanjari Didi, Nitai Mukesh Ji, Champak Mataji, and on YouTube and Facebook, there's 25 devotees. Wow. I'm not going to say everybody's name because also I don't know who's there, but from the comments I see Madhubala Didi, Brajkishori Mataji, Pramila Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, and Mohini's there. Haribo Mohini Didi, and Vidyalalasa Didi, Dashrath Nanda Prabhu, Jai Radhe, Nicola Wagner. Sorry, I don't know your devotional name, but Hare Krishna, Manini Radha, Raghav Pandit Prabhu, and so many devotees. Wow, Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Sajan Maharaj is there, and so many other devotees. And also many devotees will be watching in the future, like Shachi Devi Jayadeva Prabhu and so many others. So Dandavat pranams to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for our 11th program of remembrances of Śrīpāda Bhaktivedanta Tridaṇḍī Mahārāja. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams. Hari Bol.